What an absolute perler of a delivery there. How are we, everyone? I'm just trying to set up my computer here so I can get all the notes that I need. But what a fantastic... Oh, how come that has... Oh, here we go. It's coming up. There we go. Anil Sharma, how are we going? Good to see you on there. Anshul, sorry. Kashyap Patel, how are we going? Vishal Dubey, Abhishek Singh, Biggie Gaming, Adept, Real Music, how are we going, everyone? Chowdhury, how are you, big fella? And Ashuman, thanks very much for all joining me yet again. Simply, England were too good on this wicket, and I was just about to do a quick recording because I have to go for an hour trip and do a speech later on tonight. But it's good that the game was finished now. But the curator did a fantastic job. This pitch wasn't as bad as everyone was saying. It added different entertainment, a different perspective of the game of cricket. When the new ball on a green seamer seams away and it troubles the any batsman, the top order batsman, everyone says it's a great cricket wicket. But when spin dominates with the new ball, everyone gets up in arms. So for me, the curators provided a good wicket. If you got through that new ball against the spin, those middle overs, it was easy to bat. And the Indian batsmen showed that in this test match. And quite frankly, the England batsmen showed it in the first test match. This game, what I loved about it, Rohit Sharma, Ajinkya Rahane, Pant in the first innings showed that they were adaptable. They came into this test match prepared. They knew it was going to spin and they had different options to counteract it. Rohit Sharma going for the sweep, Ajinkya Rahane probably using his feet more, and Pant, well, he just does what he's best at and tries to go for six. In the second innings for India, Kohli, just the way that he was manipulating where he was standing in front of the stumps with the two spinners from England. The right arm spinner, he was just trying to get outside off stump, take the LB out of the equation and work it onto the leg side. With the left arm off spinner, he was trying to stand more leg side of the ball and work the spinner through the offside. Ashwin just came out and used his height with the sweep shots. England, for me, in this test match, they had plans against the spinners, but they just didn't execute it as well. They got found, caught out trying to get to the pitch of the ball. They couldn't read the length as well as India, and that was just the difference, the reading of the length of the ball. I just want to, before I get into the questions, Rishabh Pant, right, when he was in Australia, there were a few missed stumping chances against the off spinners, but they were more placid wickets. The ball wasn't beating the bat as much. But on this particular, where it was harder for keepers, he was excellent. He was clean as a whistle. So both keepers did an excellent job in Foakes and Pant here. So for me, I just reckon Pant loses a little bit of concentration when he's not in the game all the time. He gets a little bit bored, and sometimes he gets a little bit of a surprise on the flatter wickets when it passes the bat. So his concentration on the flatter wickets just needs to be worked on. But for me, India were just way too good. Their spinners, the Indian spinners were more consistent than the England spinners. The England spinners in India's second innings just got too many four balls. They couldn't keep it on a good area for long enough. And that was because of just good batting, being able to use their feet, get to the pitch of the ball, make the England bowlers bowl short. And when they did, they punished it. Okay, let's get into the questions. Oh, here we go. What would be India's strategy? This is from Pranav Jar. For the coming pink ball test, considering the fact that India has struggled against pink ball a bit. For me, Pranav, I think Anderson and Broad are going to be a big handful with the new ball, with that pink ball. So for me, they've got to bat more on off stump, a bit like a Steve Smith. Try and make those two balls wider of off stump. When the ball's swinging away, try and let it go. Don't chase it. This is for the top order batsman. And just look for that one that's swinging in. So for me, just try and bat slightly out of the crease. Try and negate the swing, but cover that off stump so you're making the bowlers bowl wider, and that hopefully will take the LB out of the equation, and the only mode of dismissal is the caught behind. Now, just remember when India got caught out in Adelaide with that pink ball in the second innings, there was a lot of luck there for Australia. A lot of those balls that nicked the edges, there would have been a lot of play and misses in other test matches. It was just that Australia had a bit of a purple patch where luck was with them there. Okay. Oh, hang on. Where was that? Moen's short innings will increase his price in the auction. Adept Aria Gaming. Look, I think Moen's had a lot of opportunities in IPL. I don't think any of these games will make a difference in coaches, captains, and support staff selecting their squads in this particular auction. So I don't think it's going to make a difference. Moeen Ali is a very good all-rounder, but I don't think he adds enough with both bat and ball to warrant a place in an IPL team because you've got so many Indian spinners that are dominant, and batting down the lower order, I don't think he scores out a quick enough strike rate. So his price tag's not going to be changed that much. How's the wait for the IPO auction going on? This is from Rohan Eoli. I've just started looking at all the squads. Look, there's some excitement there. The big one for me, okay, is Alex Hales. I think Alex Hales, out of all foreign players, will go for a high price. And I think Chala will go the leg spinner that I play with Kolkata Knight Riders. He'll get picked up as well because a few teams need that leg spin option. So watch out for those. But Alex Hales, the big one for the foreign players. Will Moen be replaced by Best next match? This is Future Stars. Future Stars, I'm thinking that you're from England. Look, Best didn't have the best of games in that first test match. The way that he finished, that's what I mean. He lost his way there. Moen couldn't keep the pressure on as well. So I think they might be going deeper in their stocks. I don't think either of those spinners will play in the next test match, actually, because it's a pink ball test match. I think they'll go with the extra quick and go with Leach to bowl the majority overs with the off spin. And remember, the majority of the Indian batsmen are all right-handers, so Leach is the better option there. So I think they'll discard Moeen Ali and go with three quicks with Leach and Stokes to bowl a few. Okay, rightio. Varun Gurda. What do you think? India will use three fast bowlers or three spinners in third pink test? And I loved your bowling action. Thanks very much, Varun. For me, I think India will go in there with three fast bowlers and two spinners. You've definitely got to go with the extra quick option. So I think they'll go with Siraj, Sharma, and Boomerang. So Boomerang will come back in this team and Kuldeep Yadav won't play. It's disappointing that Kuldeep Yadav didn't get enough overs in this game to prove his worth. But as I've been talking about, he doesn't get that extra bounce, and the Indian batsmen looked more comfortable against him than Axar Patel and Ashwin because those two particular bowlers get the extra bounce. Righty-o. Amit Mishra. Hi, Hoggy. Namaste. How you going, Amit? Good to see you joining me here. You think Ashwin's ton must shut the voices cribbing over pitch instead of work on batting in challenging conditions? Please comment. Amit, for me, I thought that pitch was sensational. It added a different aspect of the game. The way that Virat Kohli batted, Ashwin batted, they showed that there were techniques on this particular wicket that could dominate, score quickly, and survive as well. For me, England just didn't have a game plan. Joe Root had the sweep and he was the best one of the lot. I thought Folkes batted well in the first innings. I felt Lawrence had the right idea using his feet, but he was just committing to the offside too early rather than going straight down the wicket. So if you charge straight down the wicket, it's easier to go towards the ball pitched outside off stump than when you commit and you've overbalanced and you have to come back to chase it down leg side. So for me, the English batsman just couldn't read the length. Shouldn't be commenting about the pitch. The pitch was all right. The pitch was good. And if anyone says, if they get a poor rating on this pitch, I'm going to be very disappointed, because I absolutely love the test match. And that's not because I'm a spinner. It was just because the batsmen were challenged in different conditions. Who will have more advantage with the pink ball in India, seamers or spinners? This is from Rivant Chowdhury. Again, Rivant. I think the seamers are going to have more of an impact in the pink test match, especially in the evening session. So for me, it's very important to win the toss. If you win the toss, you bat first, and during that middle session, you try and get as many runs as you possibly can, because when that second new ball comes out in the evening, you want plenty of wickets in hand. So if you can bat through that first day and then bat to the halfway through the second session of the second day, you're putting yourself in a very good position to win the test match, because you'll get when you bowl against the opposition in their first innings on that second day in the evening session, you get to the use of the swing just before tea and then after tea as well with a hard new ball. So that is what you've got to be looking for in the pink ball test match. What do you think where England lost test, and will Rohit Sharma be opener in pink ball test? Rahul Mullick. Look, Rohit is definitely going to be opening in the pink ball test match. India will not change their batting lineup, especially when you've got a youngster of Gill batting up alongside Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma has shown his expertise, his brilliance, his nous with the way that he changed his game plan from the first test match to the second test match to mitigate the England spinners. And Gill is learning from that. So it's very important to keep those two in there. So they won't change anything. And losing this test, it was just because their English spinners bowled too many four balls. They couldn't apply the pressure for long enough, and the batsmen couldn't read the length. So who was that who answered that question? I've mentioned that a couple of times throughout it. So those guys that are just joining me later, every now and then the same question is going to come up. Future stars, England supporter, Rory Burns and Dan Lawrence be dropped for next test. Look, this is a tough question. You won the first test, you lost the second test. In the first test, the conditions were more advantageous to you because you won the toss. The second test, you lost the toss. I think you probably should stick with Rory Burns, but over the next week, he's got to work on his technique. His front foot is committed to outside the line of the off stump when Ishant Sharma's coming around the wicket. He's overcommitting, and they've seen a weakness there, and they're going for the LBW. That is something that he's got to work on very quickly. Otherwise, he might not be in this England lineup in the English summer, because that moving ball is starting to trouble him. Dan Lawrence, I'd swap him for Bairstow. I think Lawrence tried hard in this particular test match and the test match before, but I've always been a big fan of Bairstow, and I love watching Bairstow. I want to see him have another game. Should England have played three spinners? Niranjan Nair. No, they shouldn't have. They had to go in there with the quicks. I think they had the perfect balance with their team. Moeen Ali, they would have expected him to bowl a lot tighter than he did. And in the first innings, he just couldn't keep that pressure on, and it put pressure on the other bowlers. So for me, I thought they had the right balance. Instant oatmeal. I don't mind my oatmeal. Where did that question go? It just popped up somewhere. You're talking about Kuldeep Yadav, and I'm just going to guess that he didn't bowl that many overs in this test match. Well, he didn't bowl that many overs. He didn't look potent on this particular wicket, so I don't expect Kuldeep to play any further part in this particular series. I think the next test they're going to go with three quicks, and if they win that, they might even go with three quicks in the final test match as well. We'll just see how the pitch plays in the next test match, because you might have a bit of a different balance for that day test match on the fourth test. Has Virat Kohli lost his ability to convert 50s to 100s? This is the boss gaming. No, I don't think he has. I thought it was a wonderful 50 that he made in this second innings on this test match. The thing that impressed me is he struggled against the right arm off spinners in the first innings of this test and the first innings of the test before. He knew his weakness, he knew his downfall, he adapted, and he didn't let that happen again. He's more focused right now. Watch out for the next test match. I'm expecting 100 from Virat Kohli in the first innings. Can England go with Jimmy Jofra and Broad in third test match with one spinner? And who would the spinner, Leach or Moen or Dom Bess? The spinner will be Leach. Hopefully Jofra Archer is right for the next test match, but they'll definitely go with Broad and Anderson. And if Jofra Archer isn't right, I think they'll continue with Ollie Stone. This was a flat deck. Ollie Stone put in a lot of effort. He was used differently to Broad, and he was used with a bit of muscle power just to add that extra pace. And the wicket wasn't conducive to that. But with the pink ball, I think he'll be more effective. So don't be surprised if Stone plays if Jofra Archer isn't fit. Right, Kartik Raj Singh. Do you think it would have made a difference if Butler, Anderson and Archer were there for the second test? No, I don't. I absolutely love Joss Butler, but I think Folkes would be the better option on that particular wicket. I think he bats better against spin, and he's also the better keeper. I just thought he was phenomenal with the way that he kept behind the stumps. That was a difficult wicket to keep on for a Western keeper, and he did it with absolute ease. For me, I think Folkes is probably the best keeper I've seen in the world in the last 5 years. I know that's a big statement, but that was just phenomenal keeping. Which team do you think is going to qualify for the Test Championship and play the final against New Zealand? Australia, India, England? Commenting from Bangladesh. Ask Hoggy from Wafi to Hoggy. This is Eagle Fang Mayagi Do. Wafi? Where are we? I don't think they are going to play in the World Test Championship. I think it's going to be India. I think India are going to play or win the next two test matches here against England. So watch this space. It's going to be a tough time for India. It's not going to be easy for them, but I think they'll just get over the line here. Do you think Ashwin is the best off spinner in the world right now? This is from Rupali Kulkarni. Rupali, Ashwin is definitely the best off spinner in the world right now, and I think he could be. He's the best bowling all-rounder in the world right now. I don't know about batting all-rounder. Let's just see how the series pans out. Whoever performs better in the next two test matches with both bat and ball between Stokes and Ashwin will determine who's the best batting all-rounder going around right now. But at the moment, Stokes best batting all-rounder. Ashwin definitely the best bowling all-rounder. Okay. I hope you're happy with that comment. Where is it? This is from Shubham Verma. I hope I've said that right. Shubham. Can Hardik Pandya play in third pink ball test in place of Kuldeep? If he can bowl, he can be very handy for India with his batting abilities. Look, Shubham, I think there might be a big possibility that he could play in that third test match. But with Ashwin making 100, batting out number 8 this test match, I don't think they'll go for the extra batting option. I think they'll go with 3 strike fast bowlers. I don't think they need to have cover in their batting department. So it could be an option, but I don't think it will happen. Do England batting lineup need to change? This is the Boss Gaming. For me, I think Bairstow has to come in at number 3 for the next test match or open the batting. I don't think you've got to have too many changes. It's either, I think you can only have one change. So Burns or Lawrence have to come out for Bairstow for me. I just think Bairstow, with his aggressiveness, can help change the momentum of the game and put pressure back on the Indian bowlers. As much as I'd like to see Crowley in there, I'm preferring Bairstow. Some instincts is telling me that Bairstow is the better option. What do you think will be the 11 for England in the pink ball test? This is from Game of 10. Obviously, you're an England supporter. Hang on, I'll just stop that there. For me, I think Burns and Sibley will open the batting. Bairstow, Root, Stokes. I think they'll continue with Pope out 6, Folkes. And then you'll have Broad, Anderson, Jofra Archer, and Leach bringing up the final 11. And it's a lottery who's going to bat in those positions out the end. If Jofra Archer doesn't play, they'll go back to Stone, because I think they'll go with more quicks with the pink ball. Hoggy, will you play IPL 2021? This is from Money. No, I won't. I've just turned 50. I'd like to. Still think I'm fit enough, but I haven't played enough cricket to warrant any selection. Jerry Daniel Muscat. Hi. Why England, Australia, and New Zealand complain of pitches in subcontinent turning wickets when they start losing, whereas Asian teams are put into play in seaming green pitches? Is it fair to do so with Asian teams? Totally agree with everything you said there. And for me, I've got no qualms with India with their spinning tracks and us with our green seaming tracks. It just adds a point of difference to the game, to the contest, and that's what cricket is all about. That's what Test is all about. Players adapting to foreign conditions, to tougher conditions, and that sorts the mediocre players out from the best players in the world out. So for me, I see your point. We shouldn't be complaining about it. All right, this better be my last question. Thanks very much for joining me. All right, hang on, that just went, where was it? Should Tucker play the next test? This is from Swap 123. No, I don't think he should play the next test. I'd rather see Raj, Sharma, and Boomer in there. They're more potent with the pace, and they all swing the ball a lot more. So for me, don't change it. England, can they come back? Certainly they can. With the pink ball test, it probably evens the contest up a lot more. But I still think India on their home soil are favourites. And with the momentum of winning this test match, I could just see the confidence again in India. That first test match where they lost, it would have been a bit of a bruise to what they achieved in Australia. And they look more focused in that second test match, and they're not going to let that happen again. So England have to play out of their skin to get back in this series. They're good enough to do it. They just have to go and deliver now. All right, last question. Australia isn't going to South Africa. Will it affect their World Test Championship ranking? Anchor Gupta. I don't think it will affect their ranking, but it will definitely affect them trying to get into the Test series, because they're relying on the results now. I mentioned it last night. Australia should have gone. South Africa went to Pakistan. India have come over to Australia. Sri Lanka have gone to South Africa. England have gone to South Africa. We've got to make sure that we're helping each other out. Cricket nations have to be supporting each other. We can't be leaving other nations in the lurch. So I was a little bit disappointed that they left it to the last hour to report to South Africa that they weren't going. Okay, if Shami is ready for the pink ball test, do you think he should be in the 11 directly? This is from Converse Football. This is the last question I'll be answering. It'd be very tempting to bring Shami in, but the way that the three bowlers so far have bowled in this test series, I wouldn't be bringing Shami in. Might save him for the fourth test match if you need that experience. So for me, Shami not in the third test. Leave him for the fourth test with a short turnaround there, just in case you need some fresh blood. But well done to India. Well done to Ashwin on his home ground for a 5 for and 100 in the test match. Pant, brilliant keeping. Folks, sensational. Virat Kohli's back in form. Rohit Sharma, he's back in form as well. Ajinkya Rahane made runs. Looks like India have got the momentum going in their favour moving forward. I think India are going to win this series 3-1 now, but don't write England off. They've got plenty of fight in their team, and they can turn things around very quickly. Have a good day. Have a good couple of days off before the third test match, and I'll send another Hoggs vlog out on Friday or Saturday. So look forward to that, and make sure you get your mates on to subscribe. Thanks everyone for following me, and thanks everyone for your love of cricket.